Magic Johnson was not born into comfort or applause, but into a home where survival came before dreams. Raised in Lansing, Michigan, as one of 10 children, his early life was defined by shared space, shared meals, and shared hardship. His father worked long hours at a General Motors plant and drove a garbage truck before sunrise, while his mother cleaned schools until exhaustion bent her posture. Money was measured carefully, and nothing was wasted. Magic learned responsibility early, helping however he could, even when that help exposed him to judgment. Poverty was not an abstract idea, it was present at every meal and every morning alarm. Yet within that struggle, his parents modeled discipline, pride in work, and quiet strength. Watching them sacrifice without complaint planted a deep understanding that effort mattered, that dignity came from persistence, and that nothing meaningful was ever handed freely. The weight of humiliation and early identity. As a child, Magic experienced a form of cruelty that left no bruises but shaped his identity deeply. Riding with his father on trash routes, he was mocked by neighborhood children who labeled him Trash Boy, a name that followed him longer than the smell on his jacket. He scrubbed his clothes endlessly, hoping to erase the evidence of his family's work, but the shame lingered. At an age when most children feel protected, Magic felt exposed. Helping his father, something rooted in love and responsibility, became a source of ridicule. He did not yet have language for injustice, only the confusion of why doing the right thing hurt. That humiliation carved resolve into him quietly. It taught him how words can wound, but also how endurance forms character. Long before fame, he learned how to stand tall while feeling small inside. Isolation, integration, and silent resistance. When school integration reshaped Lansing's districts, Magic found himself placed in an environment where he felt unwelcome. At Everett High School, isolation followed him into classrooms, locker rooms, and onto the court. Teammates hesitated to pass him the ball. Conversations stopped when he entered a room. The message was never spoken aloud, but it was clear enough to feel heavy. Rather than rebel outwardly, Magic absorbed the loneliness and responded internally. He learned how to observe, how to wait, and how to channel frustration without letting it consume him. This period tested his sense of belonging more than his talent, yet even there, he refused to disappear. Each slight sharpened his focus. Each quiet rejection pushed him closer to the belief that excellence, not anger, would be his response to exclusion. Finding freedom on empty courts. Before dawn, while the city slept, Magic found refuge on empty basketball courts. There, the game became his language when words failed. The court did not judge his background or his skin color. It responded only to effort and imagination. In freezing Michigan mornings, he practiced relentlessly, turning isolation into repetition and repetition into mastery. His passing style, later celebrated as creative brilliance, grew from this time. He learned to see others clearly, to anticipate movement, to make teammates better. Basketball gave him control when life felt unpredictable. It allowed him to express joy without explanation. Those solitary hours were not about fame or dreams of stardom. They were about building something reliable inside himself. On cracked concrete, he learned that consistency could become confidence and that self-belief could be trained like any other skill. The birth of Magic and growing expectations. At 15, Magic delivered a performance so extraordinary that it changed how others saw him overnight. A triple-double performance sparked disbelief and admiration, and a reporter coined the nickname that would define him forever. Hearing Magic felt exciting, but also intimidating. It suggested perfection, something no human can sustain. His mother grounded him gently, reminding him that humility mattered more than applause. That balance stayed with him. As his reputation grew, so did expectations. He was no longer just a talented teenager. He became a symbol of possibility. Colleges took notice. Crowds grew larger. Pressure followed closely behind praise. Yet beneath the nickname, he remained a disciplined student of the game, aware that talent alone was fragile. He understood that consistency, teamwork, and humility would determine whether the name became a burden or a legacy, redefining basketball on the biggest stage. When Magic entered the NBA, he did more than join a league. He reshaped it. Drafted first overall by the Los Angeles Lakers, he arrived with joy, confidence, and an unselfish style that transformed how basketball was played and experienced. His rookie season culminated in a finals performance that defied logic, stepping into an unfamiliar position and delivering excellence without hesitation. The moment symbolized his adaptability and fearlessness. Over the next decade, championships followed, and Showtime basketball became a cultural force. Magic's smile, creativity, and leadership elevated teammates and energized fans. Yet behind the highlight reels was relentless preparation and accountability. He understood that leadership meant consistency, especially when others depended on him. His success was never solitary. It was built on trust, vision, and an instinct to share greatness rather than hoard it. Fame, pressure, and the hidden cost of success. As success multiplied, so did the weight of expectation. Fame brought opportunity, but it also stripped away privacy and simplicity. Every action was scrutinized, every performance evaluated. Magic learned that admiration could coexist with loneliness. Trust became complicated, relationships strained, and rest became rare. The image the public adored required constant maintenance. Smiling became part of the job, even when exhaustion crept in. Wealth and recognition could not fully protect him from the emotional toll of always being on. He began to understand that success does not eliminate vulnerability, it often magnifies it. Yet even under pressure, he remained committed to excellence. Rather than retreat, he adapted. He learned that resilience at the highest level required emotional discipline, self-awareness, and the courage to acknowledge struggle without letting it define his identity. A diagnosis that changed everything. In 1991, Magic's life shifted abruptly with an HIV diagnosis that shocked the world and redefined his future. At the height of his career, newly married and preparing for fatherhood, he faced uncertainty unlike any defender he had ever encountered. Fear was immediate and overwhelming. Public misunderstanding surrounding the illness intensified isolation and judgment. Many assumed his life was nearing its end. Instead of hiding, Magic chose transparency, stepping forward with honesty that challenged stigma and fear. The decision required extraordinary courage. It meant facing ignorance head-on while navigating his own emotional turmoil. The diagnosis forced him to reevaluate priorities, health, and meaning. Basketball, wealth, and accolades faded in importance. Survival, responsibility, and presence took center stage. This chapter demanded a different kind of strength, one rooted in patience, discipline, and long-term commitment to life. Loss, grief, and endurance. Beyond the court. In the years that followed, Magic faced losses that tested him deeply. Friends and family members passed away, including his father, whose work ethic had shaped his values. Grief arrived not as a single moment, but as a series of reminders of life's fragility. Managing illness while mourning loved ones required emotional endurance that no championship could prepare him for. Public misunderstanding persisted, and moments of rejection resurfaced old wounds. Yet, Magic continued forward, choosing responsibility over bitterness. He honored those he lost by living fully and intentionally. Through grief, He developed deeper empathy and perspective. He learned that strength is not loud, but steady. It shows up daily, especially when motivation fades. These years reshaped his understanding of legacy, shifting focus from personal achievement to presence, contribution, and the quiet power of perseverance, reinvention, legacy, and choosing life. Daily today, Magic Johnson stands as a testament to reinvention and sustained purpose. Through disciplined health management, business vision, and community investment, he built a legacy beyond basketball. His success in ownership, development, and philanthropy reflects lessons learned long before fame arrived. Family remains central, grounding him in values formed during childhood struggle. Each day begins with intention, routine, and gratitude. Wealth, influence, and comfort matter far less than time, connection, and impact. Magic's story is not about perfection, but about persistence. He chose life repeatedly, even when fear and uncertainty loomed large. His journey reminds us that survival itself can be a form of leadership. Championships made him famous. Business made him powerful. But resilience, humility, and consistent courage made him enduring.